Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clueless 8, and this is the end of the day evening report for July 13th, 2015. Let me get straight to the charts here and go over some of the major developments in the market over the past couple of days, including today. I'd like to remind everyone in the straightest terms that this particular move in the market and previous moves in the market have all been forecasted, explained, and charted, and shown in the simplest terms through my colorful arrows as to what might have happened both on the bullish and the bearish case scenarios. We can clearly see that the markets have decided to take an extremely positive turn on a quasi-resolution of the Greek deal, I should say, the Greek bailout. And so far, the U.S. markets have responded in a very vigorous and violent manner to the upside, which is exactly similar to the violent manner that the markets fell from the 23rd of June to the 8th of July. I'd like to remind all the new members who are listening to this video cast that my style is unorthodox. I tend to flourish best at inflection points in the market where I am the strongest and most vocal in putting my trades through. As you can see here where the green arrow is, all my members and people who have been with me since last year, since April 15th of 2014 when the service was started, know very well that I tend to remain very calm through both the upside and the downside movements in the market. Over the years, I've learned how to maintain my discipline of keeping my EQ or EV, which is emotional quotient or emotional volatility, to a minimum and maximize my tactical trading skills to the maximum. So saying all that, this particular move was predicted. I had mentioned repeatedly that if we did not, and I'm showing you the chart of the Dow Jones here in front of you on the screen, that if we did not break, if we broke these levels, if we did not break the 17,465 or call it 17,500, this would act as a very strong support for a catapult higher towards the 30, the 34, that's the 34, and I should change the color a bit, bear with me 1 second. This should actually be this, there you go. The 34 and the 50-day moving average, and that acts as a magnet anytime we get these corrective structured volatility pullbacks. What you see in front of you, for people who have not taken the advanced coaching sessions yet, and I highly recommend that all of you do, and I highly recommend that you also read every single testimonial on the coaching sessions and what people have learned and what they have felt, and I can assure you they have benefited tremendously and are in the process of applying every single tactical chart reading analytics that I have taught them, that I have personally experienced and profited from over the years. And I highly suggest, and I'd like to tell you that all of them knew exactly what was going to happen if certain levels were breached and if certain levels weren't broken. So saying all that, let me get my drawing tools here and explain to all the newbies who haven't signed up yet that this is what happens and there is nothing new in what's going on. We have a very strong support level here at around 17,500, let's call it. Did a big bounce, and what we're seeing here is a pattern symmetry. This pattern will resolve itself first at the downtrend line right here, which probably happens tomorrow. Keep in mind, tomorrow's Tuesday. And I'd like to remind everyone in the strictest terms that Wednesday is going to be an extremely choppy day, and I believe that if we get up towards towards testing the downtrend line and a possible burst through towards 18,200, that is very possible that Wednesday is going to be a red pullback day, because by that time, I'm going to show you this in a second, these indicators, the basic stochastics and other internals will be overbought and they will need to reset. Now, given the volatility, we don't know whether we get up to this downtrend. I mean, once we get to this downtrend line, which I believe will happen, has a 90% probability of happening possibly by tomorrow, Tuesday, whether or not we are going to pull back here, which I think happens to the top of the box. So we're going to lose about 200 points or so, or maybe a little bit more. Test the breakout, because this was the breakout. And keep in mind that this storyline of what the market's going to do is a continuing storyline that I show on my real-time Twitter feeds. And you're more than welcome to go ahead and scroll through and look at all the charts and comments. And also go to clueless8.com/charts to pull up the charts and see the sequence of events as it develops. This storyline translates into significant profits for disciplined, focused traders who understand what's going on, or at least try to understand what's going on. Keep in mind, before I go any further, that it's not the fantastic trades that I put in place and the ugly lows that I buy and tactical shorts that I do, such as Netflix today for 4 points in 20 minutes. I mean, in about maybe 35 minutes. Or tactical shorts that I do in the SPYs, the IWM QQQs, and the major tactical buys that I do at certain lows on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, specifically on the S&P 500. Keep in mind, they're all there. But 99% of trading is mental, and that cliche is 100% correct. I can't change your mentality and your mindset. You change your mentality and mindset, you're going to be a hugely profitable trader. What happened over the last 48 hours could have generated thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in profits. Did you do it? Ask yourself that question, not me. I put out some fantastic recommendations, trade alerts, breaking news analysis, you name it. Did you take advantage of it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you didn't, maybe you have to reevaluate what you're doing. So I'm very straightforward and direct, and I'd like to point out to everyone that if you do not have the mental aptitude to take risk, then do not be a trader. If you do have the mental aptitude, which I believe everyone has, and the fact that you listen to this video cast tells you that you do have the mental aptitude to do that, then I suggest that you fortify that courage through tactical, technical chart reading, and benefit and profit large amounts of money during days like today by buying in days like Wednesday, when you have these large 259-point drop red candles, which I like to remind you, we still made very good money that day because we were partly short on the indices, we were long on the Chinese stocks, 3 of them, and they all did extremely well. So let's get back to it here. And that is a little slice of behavioral game theory. I also like to remind everyone that I am going to make public, with permission from the members who participate on the Sunday morning 10 a.m. session webinar, so that others can hear what I spoke about and what the members did on those particular advanced coaching webinar. It was a pretty intense webinar because I talked about behavioral game theory to a very large degree. In other words, behavioral modification. It was almost like a boot camp for traders to change their mindset, because that's what I believe in. That's what I practice every day. Every day you have an opportunity to make significant amounts of money. The fact that you don't make it is because you don't make the move. The pain of regret is far, 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 far worse and painful than the pain of sacrifice. If you sacrifice 24 hours or 48 hours in buying cheap lows, tactical lows, oversold conditions, you name it, and then days like Friday and today shoot fish in the barrel, just take profits at will, isn't that a great feeling? But in order for you to get there, you have to do the hard work, and that's the mental hard work. I'm providing the tools, the suggestion, the trade alerts, the roadmap to do it. But if you don't go, if you don't act on it and make the move, all you're going to do is over time wither away and your confidence will be completely shot. So regardless of what's in front of you, you will not be able to make real money. And I'm not talking about 30 cents here, 40 cents there. I'm talking about real money. Okay, that's enough. Now, that's what we do is we get up here towards the downtrend line. We possibly have a quick reset pullback on Wednesday, which brings us to the top of the box. If we slip into the box, mind you, okay, this level here, then we are in a position of major weakness, because at that point the 17,500 level still comes back into play. That scenario is still in place, just keep in mind. Okay, otherwise what we do is we break the uptrend line, we break the downtrend line, the red line here, and we get up towards the upper Bollinger, which is around 18,200, and then we have a correction down here also, which might be stopped at the uptrend line, which is this blue line here at around 18,000. Because remember, Dow 18,000 is a psychological mark, right? I kept on saying, countdown 18,000. Well, that's just the way it works. And then from here, make another move up towards the ATH or all-time highs. Is it possible that we break through? It certainly is possible. Do I think that's a high probability event? I'll see. I'm not that fully convinced yet. So that's really the roadmap here as I see it. So now, I'd like to show you some internals. The internals are fantastic. I showed this quite a few times. Deep overbought conditions need to be bought. I can't even tell you, but of course you have to mix in with all kinds of different signals that you're getting. I'm looking at the vortex indicator as a trend indicator. I like this. This is telling you that the red line is, the vortex, the negative vortex is coming down and the positive vortex is going up, as you can see here, right? See right there. And if you look at past pattern symmetry, the same story. Keep in mind, and let me get my big fat highlighter here, that this is what is going on. This is the volatility pattern that's going on. So if it's that easy, why can't everyone make some serious money? Because it is not easy. These volatility patterns are intense when they're happening, and when your real money is at stake in the market, you're freaking out. And that's the reason, and that's why you need me. And the bottom line is, let's look at the MACD. The MACD is looking good. Look at that sharp rise in on-balance volume. That's money coming in. That's short squeeze, whatever you call it. Look at the turn on the Bollingers. That's looking good too. And then you have the Kopak curve, which I'm not going to get into. Please Google it. It's a trend indicator. And this is a daily chart I'm talking about. I'm not talking about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm talking about the daily. So we could have a major inflection point here over the past 48 hours because of Greece and other factors. Reality is the U.S. markets are strong, and I think the earnings season is going to turn out to be a rather good one. On the positive side, because as I said yesterday in the session, that the negative consensus by analysts on Wall Street is almost a negative minus 3% or so for earnings, the earnings consensus for the second quarter, which is just starting to get released now. So what if it's not that bad? What if American companies, which are the best of the breed, have managed their expenses, their balance sheets, and their income statements, and produce some strong underlying bottom line EPS, earnings per shares? Okay, it's possible that the top line revenues are not as strong. It's possible. And but when it comes to profitability, what if they're generating extreme profitability, even difficult times? What happens? This market can go a lot higher. Saying all that, let's look at the technicals here. Let me take out the Kopak. This is strong. The first green has arrived on the scene. That's on the histogram. And as we clearly know, that generally carries through for at least 2 or 3 more days. So if you want to do a quick day count for active traders, then we have a strong move up into Tuesday. We have a corrective Wednesday. And this is the third week, which is options expiration, monthly options expiration on Friday. How many times have I said that? There's a 90% possibility of a strong green finish. Anything can change in the middle, but I believe that monthly expiration is going to be very strong, and that buying tactical dips even on Wednesday would be great. In the meantime, manage your own profits, follow my trades, use your own brain, put your money at risk so that you can make money off the risk. And in the meantime, don't go crazy. Don't get too happy. Don't get